Hey, it's Sam here with Powertrain. I'm going to talk to you about something that's really important to me, something that I've grown up doing my whole life, and that is dancing. Not just dancing at weddings, not just dancing at parties and not being that girl, but actual dancing. So if you've watched So You Think You Can Dance, if you've watched World of Dance, Broadway musicals, tours, anything out there where you're seeing trained dancers on the stage using their bodies over and over and over again, doing the same shows, doing the same tours, doing the same routine all the time, I'm here to talk to you about why strength training is so important for dancers outside of the studio and on the gym floor. So as a dancer growing up, my mother was actually an aerobic instructor. And so I was always in the fitness world in some way, shape, or form. Little did I know I'd grow up to be, a personal trainer, fitness coach, and enjoy it as much as she did. So with all of that being said, I was always in a gym, always around weights, always around a lot of power lifters, bodybuilders, things like that. And I started young playing in the weights. Yeah, I wasn't taking it seriously to a point of, I was so excited to go to the gym. Unfortunately, I had a negative experience with my body. So I struggled a lot with body image and being heavier or quote unquote fat for a dancer. And that was always something that I really struggled with. So the gym was not a great place for me. So you dancers out there who that strikes a chord with, I hear you and I see you and I understand you. The gym can sometimes be a negative effect because I have to go to the gym because I'm fat, I'm unworthy, I'm unvaluable, and this is the only way I'm gonna do it, is go to the gym. And then we walk in there with a bad attitude, no motivation, no excitement, and you get into this groove of like, it's a negative thing. Switch or fast forward, I'll say, to later in my life when I actually decided it was time to change that negative thought and that understanding of why I have to be in the gym because I'm fat and I can't get jobs, or I'm getting the jobs and then I'm being told this. It's basically go to the gym to feel good. I can't think of it as I have to go to the gym because I'm fat. I want to go to the gym because I want to feel good. I want to move. I want to be happy. So when I started to train in the gym more seriously as a dancer and thinking of it as a lifestyle as opposed to a negative, it really changed my way of thinking. And my dancers out there, I loved being in the studio. I loved the music, the feeling of being on the floor and being free and just moving my body to speak. But then I learned how to train it in a way that it would be stronger and endure more out there on the floor. So let me back up to strength training for the dancer. When we're on the floor and we're doing all of the flexibility, all of the mobility, working a lot in external rotation, working a lot of, we're staying lifted and we're staying aligned and all over our body, we need to understand what muscles are moving, what muscles need to be strong, what muscles need to be engaged. I've been in classes, now I do teach students, younger students, and I'll ask, where's your hamstring? And they don't even know where the hamstring is. So they'll say, a body part, and I'm like, well, that's in your arm. So it's educating the dancer at a young age about where their muscles are. What muscles are we using? Great. Now, how do we contract those muscles? Awesome. So when we're contracting this muscle, so we're going down into a plie, right? So I'm going down into my plie. What muscles are being used? I need to teach them their glute muscles. I need to teach them their adductors, their abductors, their core muscles, how to understand how to engage all of that. So when they're in the dance room or they're on the floor or they're at the audition, their bodies are ready to go. With that being said, weight training is extremely important. I know my dancers don't want to get bulky, all right? Well, your diet has to support getting bulky. It's really, really hard to pack on muscle if you're just doing high volume, lower weight, okay? So we want to think of when we're on the gym floor, if you have a personal trainer, if you have somebody who's working with you, then understanding what your goals are, asking them or telling them exactly what you do and how you use your body. Yeah, dancers use their bodies in ways that people don't really understand or know about. So we have to strengthen and condition certain parts of our bodies that are different than just curling the biceps, yeah? So understanding what you need outside of the dance studio as opposed to in. It'll also help prevent injuries. Yeah, so if I'm using weight training and I'm training outside doing reps and sets, you know, doing core work that is different than on the floor in the dance studio, moving external weight, you know, when I'm partnering people, I can partner better. I have more control and strength in my body. And then hopefully the other dancer is being as diligent on the other side of the dance studio as well. And they're aware of their body to be able to hold their body and be able to press off of me and use my body so that we can partner together better. I think I want to leave you with my final thought of strength training for dancers. I don't want to think of dancers having an ending time in their career. So when we think of athletes, you know, football players, gymnasts, people who are the athletes, because I get this all the time, people say dancers aren't really athletes. We are an athlete. We're a different type of athlete because there's artistic ability behind it, but I want to be able to dance forever. Dance is a universal language. I want to be able to dance all the way up into my 60s. Now, is it going to look like when I'm 18? Probably not. But the longevity of strength training, joint training, flexibility is going to help you progress all the way through. So as the dancer's journey starts out as a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, step together, bend and straight, yeah, just learning basic movement patterns, you'll travel to your peak of, you know, being out on the dance floor, the endurance that you have to have, the strength, the power, you know, that peak performance of, you know, all of your training coming together. You're on audition season, you're creating your name, your brand in the industry. And then as you taper off into those older years, you know, still being able to be flexible, doing splits, being able to dance in dance class, being able to still express the art that the athlete once took control of. Does that make sense? So it's an athlete that has art behind it, and I never want to lose the ability to give that art at my older age. So even as a choreographer, even as an instructor, I challenge myself with being in the front of the room and still being mobile and still being an energy and an inspiration to my students so that they know, oh, I can still dance way beyond my quote unquote peak, because I don't think dancers actually peak all the same time. We have very, very different peaks and valleys in our career, and how we deal with it, with strength training, with fueling our bodies properly, you know, with understanding the emotional side of it as well, we will be able to travel through a really long, healthy dance career from age 3 all the way up until you decide that you're done. If you like what I have to say, click below, make a comment, subscribe, and head into our channel of Power Train.